2023, we need to bring these topics to light because, you know, there's a lot of issues that we haven't dealt with as a community, right? And I talk about it all the time, but I'll repeat it once again, right? Asian men are the least desired on dating apps.
True.
Right? Whereas our Asian women are. Right? And then, of course, Asian men has one of the highest self-deletion rates. And that's really the one that I want to tackle and address and point out to, because I really think there's a correlation between what we talk about on on this channel about the truth and having the outcomes of the truth and mental health.
True.
Right? But guys, hey, please, while you're here, right, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, turn on your notification bell. Appreciate you guys joining us today. And of course, today, we really want you guys to comment. Have any questions for us, any comments, any reactions? We'd love to see them on the live, so that way we can react or comment to them in live. But at the same time, hopefully anybody who's commented in the past, hopefully you guys can see our answers today, because I'm looking forward to answering some of these, because I've seen them, guys. Hey, I look at all of the questions, and I know, like I said, my wife and I said, we have a busy schedule, so we don't get around to answering all of them. But now's our opportunity, and I think it's a great thing to do. True. Guys, a couple notifications as always, right? You know, we have a couple of cash apps if you guys would like to donate to the show. Help the show grow, because, like I said, I'm really trying to save lives out there. Not, like I said, to be moralistic, not to make myself feel good, but guys, there's a real big thing within the Asian community, especially when it comes to the men, mental health, Asian culture, the pressures that we face as Asian men in our, not only our family upbringing, but in society, and of course this westernized, globalized society now as well. Okay. But hey, if there's nothing else, honey, let's begin with the first comment. This comment was from @Sigma8995, and it was about 3 months ago. I think this was the one where we titled the video Asians Are Losers. And so he comments, firstly, you can do better with the title. Calling Asians losers in cap is just inflammatory. Next, I'm an Asian guy, and I have dated a lot online and some in social settings. It is much more difficult to date online as a man, period. It compounds even more when you are an Asian man. We Asian are portrayed in a very negative light by Hollywood. Despite that, there's also some truths to the stereotypes, like Asians being shorter on average. There's a lot to be said and discussed, but I will keep it short and simple for my Asian brothers. Dating in this era and in a westernized country is not in your favor. Marriage is even worse. Modern westernized women are toxic, outspoken, demanding, act like men, hypergamous, have high body count. I can go on and on. Your best bet is to find a girl overseas. Go passport bro, or focus on yourself and develop better relationships with your friends and family. Adopt a pet if you want constant companionship. Seriously, the juice is not worth the squeeze when it comes to dating these days. You will have to play a number game and pray to God that you find a half-decent woman. Even then, it is not guaranteed. Good luck, bros. Okay, honey, I got a lot to answer and react to @Sigma8995.
Okay, you go ahead first.
Okay, so firstly, guys, first comment, right? We can do a better job of titling. Guys, I don't do, or we don't decide on these titles for no reason. Men need to hear the truth, right? Would you rather me be nice to you and sugarcoat the problem, or me rather slap you and wake you up from the matrix, right? Throw cold water on you, right? Throw you into the deep end and get you to react? Because, guys, I hate to say it, but Asian men in general, when we're speaking in generalities, I just told you guys the stats. Overall, we are losers. And when we mean losers, we're talking about losers in this truth game, right? In the pursuit of the truth, right? Finding a female to which you can mate with, procreate with, have a nuclear family, have a successful, strong nuclear family, and obviously have the best results for your kids. Right? We're losing. I don't know how else you want me to tell you @Sigma male. So, I mean, you can be nice all the hell you want to, but I'm not going to be nice, because our Asian brothers need to wake the heck up. Right? This has been going on for decades. I've seen it for decades. I'm an older dude. Okay. My gray hair is showing for a reason. Right? And so we need to wake our brothers up and get these outcomes changed. Okay? You want to say anything about that, honey, before I move on?
No.
The next thing I'll say is
I agree.
It is more difficult to date online as a man, period, because the criterias are already set.
Yep.
Right? If women's criterias are set at 6 foot tall, make a certain amount of money, a certain ethnicity, right? And if our stereotypes, like I told you guys earlier, if our stereotypes is that they don't prefer Asian men because of our bad values, our lower values, then they're not going to. Guys, how many of these shows have you guys watched, right? Whatever podcast, F&F, right? Any of these RP contexts or even manosphere contexts. These women come on those shows and they have no problem saying that their least desired preference of ethnicity is Asian men.
Yeah, but then if a man says that, then they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're so,
Correct. No one shames these women for their preferences. No one shames them that they want 6 foot tall or taller men, or 6 figures, or 6 inches, or the fact that they don't like Asian men. Right? No one says anything. Even our Asian sisters go on these shows and say that. And maybe someone will say like, "What the heck?" But no one really challenges. And hey, guys, I'm not here to challenge them either. This is the reality. I'm just showing you guys the truth.
Yeah.
Women, in general, don't want lower values, just like we don't want lower value women. Okay? And so, yes, it's going to be more difficult online. And then, of course, it compounds. You're right, Sigma, because of the Asian stereotypes.
Yep.
Right? If we're naturally the way we are. We Asian are portrayed in a very negative. What do you think about that one? That we're portrayed negative in media?
In media, yeah, it's true. Because each time when you see an Asian person, whether they're playing an Asian person in role for, they always make them look like they're dorks, nerdy, or like kung fu style.
But how much of that do you really think is it fiction versus reality, or reality versus fiction, or mirroring fiction?
Well, I think it's mirroring a little bit, because if you're gonna, social media picks up things because how we portray ourselves in a little bit. Yeah. Like we don't act a certain way. And this is why they are sort of inflicting that. Like, oh, well, because you're always not taking things serious, or you always say, hey, like this.
If you're goofy, if you're dorky,
goofy,
if you're smaller, you're shy, you're timid. How do you think they're going to portray you? I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, Asian brothers, who is responsible for our image?
It's us.
Right? Yeah. We can talk about all the time. Who's responsible for the freaking black women's image, black man's image, Asian women's image, white man's image? Who's all responsible? Yes, there's a little bit of media, maybe a freaking what is it? The news channels, right? All the big news channels maybe propagating certain lights, but ultimately at the end of the day,
but it's not like you guys can change that. You're like, hey, I don't want to play this role. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You guys can actually step up. Even when you're in the, highlight, you're in the movies, Asian brothers, sisters. Come on, speak up for your Asian,
Yeah. The only,
culture.
And like I said, I want to get to other comments, honey, but the rest of the comments, guys, some good advice, right? But guys, we have to remember the goal is the truth, right? And so I know a lot of you guys out there, a lot of these channels, right? They diss on the RP. Maybe they diss on our show because they're saying, hey, Tuan and Sim, you guys were successful, right? You guys found each other. You guys have kids. But not everyone can do that.
We all have to work for it.
And we know about this throughout history, guys. We talk about the stats, right? Only 30 or 40% of men have procreated, right? And so what about the rest of the men? I get it. There's going to be a lot of men, right? They're going to be like, well, that answer isn't for me because I'm not that top tier guy. I can't be that top tier guy. So what do you say to that, honey?
No one cannot, you can't stop. My parents always taught me, the only person who stops you is yourself, right? So if you want to up your game, then if you want to make more money, then find a job to make more money. If you want to look better, then find ways to dress better, cut your hair, hygienic, clean up better. No one is stopping you guys that you cannot change and better yourself. No one came to this world with wealth. No one goes out of this world with everything with them. So it's things you can learn, things you can better yourself.
Well,
so there's a lot of ways and avenue to get better. Like you can get a coach, how to dress better.
Let me end it on this. Let my wife be good cop and I'll be bad cop. Guys, once again, this comes to the first statement, right? Where he's scared of the way we're conveying the message. Guys, the reality is the majority of you guys are not going to make it. So what would you rather have? The truth and say, hey, this is what you need to do to make it, right? If you guys know that if you didn't do this, you're going to die. Would you not want to know what that is? Right? Or would you rather me lie to you or live in a matrix and say, oh, you can do this, right? There's someone for everyone. You guys have heard this bull crap, right? There's someone for everyone out there. Oh, just be yourself. Be yourself and someone will find you and you'll find somebody that will like you for who you are.
You got to go out
Right?
there. You got to
That's
go out
all
there.
cap. That's all BS. Right? And it's showing you guys right now in live time. This modern globalized sexual market has shown you guys the reality. And hey, if you guys want to MGTOW and walk away, then you're giving up. Hey, good for you. You're giving it up to the other guys that are willing to put the work in and put the effort in to do it. Oh, hey, cool. We have a live comment coming in.
Okay, here
Let's
we go.
take a look at it. Nice.
So the comment is from Wody Mac.
Wody Mac. Okay.
What I want to know is how a straight shooter like yourself, sir, grabbed a smoke show like that. What was the approach story?
Okay, so looking back on it, right, there's really a few key things that I would say. One, I always talk about on this show is fitness. I was in really good shape. Now, I came about that by pure accident. You know, my brothers and his friends were into working out. They wanted to get buff for sports, right?
Yep.
And I was just tagging along.
Yeah.
Just so happened that I love doing it. I enjoy doing it, right? And so I got really good at it. You know, competitive bodybuilder, placed pretty well at regional shows. So that helped. Having that confidence, having that physical capability, having the look definitely attracted, you know, and of course my wife can speak for herself, but she was attracted to me because of I had not that non-stereotype small Asian look. It also made me taller, right? I'm average height for Americans, but I'm way above average height for Vietnamese Asian, right? If you look at Vietnamese Asian, they're like 5'6" is the average height. I'm 5'10", right? And 190. You know, when I was lifting, I was 200 something pounds. Okay. And then of course that confidence comes with attitude, right? You know how to talk to. I made the approach to my wife. My friend gave me her number, her contact information, and I reached out to her and shot my shot, right? You got to go play the game if you want to score, right?
Yep.
You ain't gonna do anything by just sitting at home or, like I said earlier, MGTOWing and sticking yourself out the game, right? And so those two things were key. Now the other thing, hey, and this is to my Asian brothers. This is kind of where our upbringing can come into a positive thing. My parents worked my butt off when I was young, right? Taught me hard work at a young age. I was working at the restaurant, working at the little sandwich shop, you know, by the time I was 7, 8 years old, long hours, right? Combined with the work ethic of the working out, not wanting to quit, not wanting to give up, right? Now I'm successful financially, but you guys have to have it all together. I just was lucky to find a very traditional woman at that time. And guys, we live in a different time now, right? The chances of you guys running into someone like my wife now is difficult. I get that. So I appreciate like the passport bros guys advice. I appreciate advice like that where like, hey, you might have to go out in certain circles to go find that traditional woman now. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question, but if you have some more,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Comment on it. Thanks for the story. It makes sense. Bodybuilder, you are a rare specimen physically, especially if you are winning too.
Thank you.
All right, so next comment is from @StarReaper1 from 3 months ago. Does Yen so much need multiple partners or just one that handles her emotional and physical needs? Seems like she got shortchanged in multiple relationships, and that left her thinking she needs multiple partners. Do you remember
on our channel.
yes? Yeah. Thank you, Yen, so much once again for showing our guests and being honest and just, you know, having a
Straightforward.
great time on the show and sharing all the information. But what do you think, honey? What do you think about this comment of what they think why Yen has her concerns or her issues, right?
I think experience. She just wanted different experience, you know, and she had boyfriends that didn't treat her well, and she just had to go through, I guess, different partners you know.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is she got a little alpha widowed, you know, if I remember that correctly. Her first man was kind of this man that she felt was the guy, but then I believe he cheated on her, right? And so she got kind of a little alpha widowed. And ever since then, she's tried to find, and this is the thing to women, right? You do the same things that the Matrix tells the men to do, right?
Yeah.
Be nice. So what you try to do? What does she try to do? She wants to go try to find a nice guy, someone that maybe is a little bit more serious with relationships, but that isn't arousing.
No.
Right? Not to say that I'm not serious with my relationship or with the truth, right? But you got to bring the values. You can't just be a nice guy and be like, well, I'm just going to be who I am.
Yeah.
I'll make average salary. I'll be average, whatever. And then everything will be okay. Like I was telling you guys, this is the global dating market. Yen is probably a little bit younger than you and I as well, honey. So they are growing up in a generation, guys, that they want to have all the top tier values, right? And so let's answer kind of that second part of it, is that she wants multiple partners now because in her experience, right? And this is me guessing. Yen can speak for herself
Yen,
if she comes on her show.
jump
Or
on.
Yen, I love for her to. But
comment.
now she's going to have all these different values supplied to her from different men, right? One's going to be the guy that's going to give her the physical lust that she wants. Another guy's going to be the beta bucks. Another guy's going to be the emotional shoulder, right? And so that's the problem. She's trying to find this guy with all the values.
It's not that easy,
But
guys.
it's not that easy. And then on top of that, she has this trauma, and I'm not capping here. She has this trauma of that person cheating on her.
Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, I don't want that. I don't want a top tier guy who's going to give me all those values, but then cheat on me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have all these lower tier guys that fulfills all these different values. And then they'll all combine into this one guy. And then technically I'm not cheating because we're all cheating. Like literally she's the alpha, the alpha queen in this situation. And she's juggling these beta dudes. Right. So it's like I said, it's kind of a cope, but hey, hopefully it works out for her. I think, honestly, that type of polygamous relationship is going to be more and more common in the future.
Yeah.
And you're already kind of seeing that now with kind of this egalitarian, misandrous kind of freaking, right? Kind of more of a matriarchy society than a patriarchy society, right?
Okay. Well, hopefully that sort of answers a little bit of that. And hey, Yen, jump on in.
Yeah, comment. Let us know. You have a question if you're watching. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, next comment. All right, so you want to read this one, honey?
At Charles?
Yeah, at Charles Jung.
Okay, at Charles Jung, 2790, 3 months ago. Coming from a farming family in Korea, I was blessed with bigger than average height, broader shoulders, and wider back like my father and uncles. In America, I can see why Asians are seen as weak and feminine. Asian men are shorter, weaker, meeker than white or black. It's just this testosterone levels are different. Asian men don't have a lot of testosterone, so will be the less aggressive and just less masculine. Nothing wrong with that. Just accept who you are.
What do you think? I'll let you answer first on this comment. Thanks for the comment too,
yes,
by the way, at Charles Jung.
Charles Jung, 2790.
So what do you think about that, honey? He's just saying that in America, he can see why Asians are seen as weak of him.
Yeah, weak.
So what do you think about that?
Well, America, because I understand that a lot of Asian people back then doesn't really considered working out. Like they don't really work out. They don't want to try to get themselves buff or anything like that. And most people are average. They're not really that tall. But coming from what you're saying, that you come from a farming family in Korea and you're blessed with the more than average height and broader shoulders. Broader shoulders, I would say it's more because when you did the farming, you're lifting up things and working harder.
Activity.
You don't think that you're lifting weights or anything, but because you're doing all that physical labor and everything, actually does create a little bit of muscles and all that stuff,
Yeah.
But they don't see that, right? The wider back and everything else.
Hey guys, like I said, I'm an old guy and I've been seeing this for the last, 4 or 5 decades, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so what I will say to this comment is that yes, the men in my generation, Gen X, and then afterwards millennial, definitely there's this correct stereotype of being smaller, less aggressive.
Yeah.
But I will say this, with the Gen Z and moving forward, like
not.
our kids, our
No.
nephews, our cousins,
Yeah.
that's definitely changing,
No.
right? Because the American environment with the food, all of the hormones in the food, with the physical athletic activity that we all did, including myself,
They're growing.
they're all getting
Yeah.
bigger now, 6
Yep.
foot or taller, right?
Yep.
Playing sports, football, basketball, all that stuff. So I really think that if you give it another couple of decades, I really think Asian American men are going to turn this around. But the problem, not that I see with the aggressive or the physicality, the problem that I see that's going to haunt us still for the next 2 or 3 decades is the culture of which we're bringing up.
Yeah.
We're taught to be nice guys. We're taught to be, obviously, treat women, like put them on a pedestal, right? And then, obviously, if you do that, women will like you in return.
Yeah.
And so I will say this, and I know at Robert in Guido, 749 comment right there, he says, no, don't accept it. Be better, get stronger, learn to fight, take risks, and see how life. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say, right? So at Charles Jung, thank you for the comment, but no, don't accept who you are, right? That comment I once again said, where just like, be yourself. There's someone for everyone.
No.
That's all cap. If you're gonna believe in that and just freaking do you and sit at home and be a freaking for lack of better words, a loser, your options are not going to be
Be
there
very
at all.
minimal. It's
Yeah.
like you're
If
waiting
at
for,
all.
Yeah, it's like you're waiting. It's like you're waiting for someone to
Yeah.
knock on your door. Trust me, a lot of women ain't gonna
Asian-
knock on your door.
Asian
And
men,
if they
let me-
do, it's like one of those matchmakers, and you're not even gonna know each other. It's like,
Yeah.
and trust
And
me,
let's be
most
honest,
of the time they don't
she's
really
not
work.
going to be. But Asian men, let me tell you this: you guys are so good at school. You guys are so good at finance, right? Do you think a college, do you think a high-end job career will just accept you for who you are? You think you're going to just go to college because of who you are?
Yeah.
Or was it because you had to bust your ass, learn the freaking, the subject matter, score high test scores, right? Score high in the SAT, all that type of stuff before you're qualified for these top tier schools, right?
But still, you're gonna be thrown in this social market. You got to learn how to speak to other people,
My
do all
point,
that other stuff.
My point is, Asian men, you cannot expect people to accept us for who we are. You want to get the qualifications to attract women.
You got to get
You
yourself
gotta
out there.
you have to get the
That's what I'm saying.
qualifications.
Get yourself
to
out there.
track women. Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going. At Charles Jung responded to Robert in Guido, says, some dudes just don't have that drive, and that's okay. Not everyone can be a winner. Okay, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Charles Jung,
You're being nice.
dude, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
We gotta stop this type of
Yeah.
advice, because
Stigma.
this is
Yeah.
detrimental advice to men.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, not everyone can be a winner. That's true. But to say it's okay is
It's not.
not the right answer. We need to tell our Asian brothers that it's not okay.
You need to step
We
up.
have to get better. Okay. And guys, hey, I'm hard on the guys, but I'm hard on the Asian women alone. But obviously, we're reacting to this comment. So we're talking about the men here, right? Go ahead, honey.
That's like okay. Think of it this way, Charles. You're in line. You're in 80, 90 degrees scorching hot heat, waiting for, I don't know, to buy something at a store.
Okay.
Are you saying to your kid, here's your son, here's your daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at you as an example. So you're telling your kid, your son or daughter, that it's okay that this person is just going to go right in front of you, right? Cut in front of you when you've waited for hours, but it's okay. You're going to tell your son or daughter
Well,
that it's
that's-
okay, sort of like,
that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different.
well, it's sort of like that, but it's like, but you're not telling your daughter, like, it's not okay to cut in line. You got to protect yourself. You got to
No,
say something.
I would say
you know?
say the analogy more would be like, hey, we gotta climb
Step
this
up.
mountain.
Yeah.
We gotta conquer
The
this
hurdle.
mountain. We gotta get over this mountain. Otherwise, what's gonna come is the winter's gonna come and we're all gonna freeze to death, or this monster's gonna
Yeah.
come and eat all of us and we're
It's
gonna
gonna be
die.
the same
It's-
cycle.
my point is,
It's repeating
My
cycle.
point is, you're going to die.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to lose, right? So no, we cannot sit here and just be okay with
And
that
just
and
take
accept our fate. We got to attempt,
To
at
change
least
it.
attempt to climb over that mountain, to get out of this
Yeah.
jail, this prison that we're in.
and get better.
And get better. Okay. Robert Antonio responded to Charles Jung. He says, true, but if you recognize it, you owe it to yourself or your lineage to improve.
Yep.
Too late for yourself, maybe? Yes. Teach your sons and other males you
Yeah, I
care
just
about
brought
what
that
you
part
like.
up.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, Robert. Like,
Yeah.
we need to stop this cycle of our fathers passing on
Yep.
these bad traits to us,
Yeah.
and then we pass it on to the next generation.
Yeah.
You were gonna say something?
Well, I'm
Helene?
just saying, like we're saying it's traits. It's not like it's
Yeah.
not like, oh my gosh, this is how we. No, you don't have to accept it. It's your traits. You can change things. No one's gonna change it for you if you want to change it yourself, Robert. I mean, Charles. Like, because if you don't change it, like Robert said, it is a continuing lineage, and this is what our show is about. It's your lineage. You're gonna continue that cycle over and over again. Why? Why would you want to continue something negative to your lineage?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want
And
don't
and,
you
and
want
guys,
the
and
best?
guys, that's assuming we have a lineage.
Yeah.
We just talked about this.
Yeah.
Asian men are the least desired on dating apps. Do you think you'll have a lineage if no woman wants to mate with you?
Not if you're not gonna. You know what? We were talking about different traits. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you want to up your game? You want more money? Go work out. You want to be in shape? Go work out. You want this? Then eat less. Do certain things. You just got to go out there and prove yourself. Little at a time. Just improve yourself and have confidence. If you don't have that confidence, sorry.
Yeah. The point is, though,
You don't want to be awkward.
The point
Don't
is,
act
the point is,
awkward.
there's winners and losers, guys. We gotta try to be winners.
Yep.
That's the reality. The matrices have been unfortunately broken down. You guys see the reality now, and it's like you guys are asking. And hey, Charles, no, it looks like you agreed with Robert at the end there. So thankfully, hopefully you change it around, my man, and hopefully start to improve yourself and let other people, other Asian brothers know as well too. But guys, you don't want to get replugged back into the matrix, right? That's not the answer that we want. All right,
We want you in the winner circle.
let's next comment here. Nah, no worry. Thank you. All right, so
Go ahead.
at AY Tunes 35 commented, he says, or she says maybe, Asians seem not to know what you guys have won the game of life. Based on statistics, Asians are the most intelligent and educated in the US. Asians have their internal division, but by far your community is winning. Stay safe, stay winning, and block out the hate. What do you think about that comment, honey?
Well, they do stereotype that Asians are intelligent and all that stuff because it does show it, from our success rates and everything else that's gone up.
Highest earners,
highest
yes.
earners, yes. We are
Yeah,
educated
yeah.
because a lot of Asian families, I agree with you, is focus on studies and whatever else. They don't really, back then, a lot of parents don't really focus on sports and whatever else, It's just more like music and,
This is the problem. This is the mentality. This commenter here. Thank you so much for for commenting, because this exposes the common mentality of the Asian man. Guys, we are not winning. Just because you're intelligent, we make the most money, we're the highest educated,
But
we
we're
are
not
not.
swiped.
What is the purpose of life? AY Tunes 35. The
Yeah.
purpose of life, like I just told you guys earlier, the truth is being able to mate with another female,
Have kids.
have the best nuclear family,
Family.
right? Because that's going to ensure the best outcome for your family and your
Yep.
kids, your lineage,
lineage.
right? The game of life, right? We are not winning, but just by making the most amount of money, okay?
Let me tell you right now. You can make the most money. You can be the most. You feel like you're successful.
Look at Bill
But
Gates.
if you,
Look at what's his name? What we talk about all the time.
yeah,
Right?
Paul Allen.
Paul Allen.
okay.
Is
He's
he
a
winning
billionaire.
life?
He didn't win life. He didn't have no kids, no women to attach to him. Just because you have money, guys, you don't have your lineage. You didn't meet anybody. You're not continue. Think about it. Your lineage right there is dead. Save your this.
Hey, look at
It's
something.
done.
Hey,
It's
I want
done.
to say something recent. Look at Logan Paul recently. Do you think he's winning life right now?
Yep.
He makes a buttload of money,
No.
have a high status, but he freaking attached himself to a 304.
Yeah.
Do you really think he winning life right now? He's
Remember
he's being literally clowned in
Yeah.
real time, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
He's a freaking clown for doing this. He needs to break up with that chick.
Yeah.
Call her out as a 304 she really is, but he's not going to, because Logan Paul's a freaking damn pretty much just a beta ass dude guy towards the Matrix. Him, Steve Harvey, all these freaking beta cucks, simps, right?
What they
that
always
just want
say,
to
guys.
freaking perpetuate that freaking ideology, right?
Why they always make that statement most of the time? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and it's true because most likely you're going to end up in a divorce.
Yeah. And like guys, I
98%. If you don't believe my word,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know
come.
I don't know these people, but guys, the results speak for themselves.
Yep.
Right? Do you think freaking Jeff Bezos is winning?
Nope.
Right? Do you think?
I'm sorry, Jeff
right?
Bezos, but I give you maybe less than 4 years, and she's gonna try to think she's too good for you later. Even though you're like one of the top creme, she is still gonna think she's better.
Yeah, and like I said, guys, there's levels to winning, right? They have a buttload of money, they have a buttload of status, they can turn it around, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, hey, learning lesson, right? Sometimes we shouldn't look at people like that too much because they have the means to which to turn it around.
Oh, yeah.
When your values are high enough, you can afford to make a mistake. But you think some, like myself even, I'm not that level of earner.
Yep.
Some other guys are just making six figures, $100,000-$200,000 a year. You think you can turn it around if some woman freaking goes out there and freaking divorces you and take half of your stuff, take your kids? You think you're gonna be able to survive that?
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, hey, bad advice. Thanks for the comment, but no, we need to understand the guys that we need to have all our values high. Okay.
You gotta up it.
All right. So next comment. At my name is Jay-Z says, thank you, Tuan and Sim, for literally putting your neck on the line, trying to bring the Asian community back. Asian men really need a reality check on life and become that guy if you want to see changes in their life and in their community. No one else is preaching it like this channel. My endearing support. Love you guys. Oh, man.
Thank
Thank you so much. My name is Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, like I said, I'm not doing this for anything but hopefully to help my Asian brothers out there turn it around. Like I said, once I found out, honey, like I told you this, you know, beginning of this year, I said, once I found out that the Asian men had the highest self-deletion rate and that we were failing so much in dating apps and stuff like that.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's something inside me said we need to turn this around, right? Like, and my wife knows me too. Like, I'm not really the nicest person.
To be outspoken.
I'm not really the nicest guy. I'll be full disclosure. I'm not really the nicest guy.
But we had to do something about it.
I'm kind of one of those guys, like most, I guess you want to call conservative guys that are like, hey, I take care of my own. I take care of my family. I'm responsible for myself. I'm responsible for my wife and my kids. You know, F everyone else.
But we had to do
But
it.
this had touched me so much because I started seeing all these things. Because I watched like social media too, YouTube, and you're starting to see like all these Asian men like going to be like mass shooters, self-deleting themselves, taking other people's lives at it as well too. And I'm like, what is the reason for this, right? What is the reason for this quote unquote mental health crisis?
Because loneliness,
right?
Loneliness.
It's because you're
less desire.
you're not winning in the game
No.
of the truth. You're not winning in this pursuit of
Yeah.
the game of life.
Yeah.
And that's what's creating mental health issues.
And we had to do this. I mean, with our business, our neck down the line, people in the community know us and everything else. But you know what? We had to do something about it. We had to at least touch one person at a time. And if we can save you and turn your life around, hey, men, Asian brothers, sisters,
And I get
out
it.
there,
There's
you're
a
not
lot
less
of-
desirable. You
there's-
just got to up your
There's a
game
lot of
and
Asian
change.
brothers that don't want to hear this news, this
Yeah.
information, right? We've kind of commented on a lot of comments already that kind of resists this information. Guys, there's a lot of indoctrination within the Asian community that suppresses men,
Yeah.
right? And tells you guys to be a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Be a doctor, be a lawyer, right? But guys, we need to break that because it's not working.
And we know. And we know some doctors and lawyers, and they are Asian, and they are still less desirable.
Yeah, they're
Because
still
why?
getting-
Do you know why? Because you know why? They are so focused on, hey, I'm the doctor, I'm the lawyer, I'm making money. Women will flock to you. But guess what? These women these days, I'm going to try to tell you right now, they're looking for more. They're looking, hey, are you dressed well? Do you look good? Are
Well,
you
let's-
this?
let's-
Are you socially,
let's
talking and
be-
less awkward? Because most of these guys, you guys are so,
Yeah, honey,
focused on study. but you're
let's
not.
see if there's another comment that we can maybe talk on that because I think that what you just mentioned there, let's save that rant.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
I'm just trying to tell
Yeah.
you guys.
This was a good, this is from at Sydney Branch 5070. This was a good video and great advice from the guy, but I rarely see Asian women date anyone who's not white or Asian. Does it bring dishonor to the family if they do? You want to touch on this one first?
Well, depending. I mean, it's the, different,
Well, hey, we
for the
recently
women,
shot a
Asian-
video of this,
yeah.
kind of.
yeah.
You remember that video, honey? We recently shot a video of this.
depending on the family, right? Dishonor in terms like, hey, if the guy isn't doing well or whatever else, and isn't bringing
Yeah.
things to the table, then you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the parents.
Yeah,
Right.
so guys, the video I was referring to is we recently shot a video where we said that a lot of Asian women sleep with black men, right? And it was a video to show the values and the traits of a man
Yeah.
is more important than his ethnicity. And so to Sydney Branch 5070, I'm going to repeat it to you, especially in this modern day and age where, right, we're all the social constructs have been kind of broken down. And especially with the ideology of everyone's equal, racism and all this stuff has been kind of shamed and that type of stuff. And rightfully so, right?
Yep.
But different ethnicities now is acceptable to marry other ethnicities.
Yep.
Right? It's very rare unless you go into a very traditional circle, like my wife was saying, where someone's gonna shame you if you're a mixed kid nowadays.
no.
Let's be honest, right? And we have so many things in place in our social construct society, especially the Western society, to actually propagate and actually promote mixed, right? How many times have you heard the statement, "Oh, mixed kids look so good,"
Yeah, it looks so cute.
right? And I always find that weird because, like, well, if you're not a mixed kid, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Right? I hear so many kids. I remember in the younger generations were saying, "Oh, I want a mixed kid so bad because they look so good," and I always thought to myself, "Well, you're not a mixed kid."
Yeah.
So
and
are you?
still look good.
Is this self-hate
Yeah,
then because
yeah.
you're not mixed
Yeah.
ethnicity yourself? So I always found that really weird. But anyways, guys, going back to the question, no. And I think what at Sydney Branch is trying to, let's be honest, allude to is if this person is dating a black guy,
Yeah.
right, of a female, no. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, if the values are high,
That's what we were
right?
saying.
But see, this is the problem with stereotypes because there's a little bit of truth in stereotypes.
Yep.
And then there's also a little bit of truth in women's nature and hypergamy, right? How many women in general, not just Asian women,
Yep.
but always want to date the bad boy, the criminal, that kind of that violent, perception persona, right? Because he has this no give a crap attitude, hustler,
That's strong,
right? Strong, I can
protecting,
protect.
yep.
And then also I can go out there and do what it takes
I don't give
to
it.
survive. It's the
Yep.
survival instinct, right? And so the problem is that is shamed, and rightfully so, right? You get with a drug dealer who makes his money through illegal means,
Yep.
right? Or a criminal who's doing criminal
Or
activity.
hurting somebody. Yeah.
And the problem at Sydney Branch was, let's be honest, like I said, let's talk about uncomfortable topics. Black men were perceived as kind of that criminal element.
Yep.
Now, though, however, it's kind of been broken down, right? But let's be honest, too. They're still kind of perceived as athletes, celebrities.
Their traits are higher
right?
now.
They're not really perceived as educated, white-collar,
Yep.
businessmen type of people, right?
Yep.
But once again, guys, it's not the ethnicity.
It's the
It's
traits.
kind of just the how you got your values, and it's kind of what values you're bringing. Right?
And it's
I
more-
guarantee you, if your mom and dad knew that you were dating some, Harvard grad black dude who made, $500,000
"Hey,
a
let me get her
year,
number.
who sat up
Number."
straight, dressed nice,
Yep.
and had perfect grammar and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
I don't think she's gonna care.
I'm pretty sure they don't care. The problem with that type of individual, though, he probably gets shamed more by the black community for not
Yeah.
being black enough, right?
Yeah.
Than other societies.
It's
Let's be
more
honest.
accepting now.
Right?
I mean,
let's
it's more
just
accepting.
be 1,000% honest with each
Yeah.
other, right? All right. Anyways, next comment. At Alvolutionary comment,
1 month
what
ago.
I noticed about the white male Asian female relationship is that the man tends to be more passive while the woman is more masculine. Interesting insight, Alvolutionary. I think Rich Cooper touched on this topic too and acknowledged this behavior. It's ironic because Asian women seek white men for his masculinity, but she ends up being the masculine one. Interesting. What do you think about that, honey?
Is it maybe because she's bossy? I mean, that's what I know. Asian women are a little bit bossy,
Yeah, I mean,
but that doesn't make the masculine sort of like, So
no, I
that
think
what you
that's
mean?
I think that's a very good insight from Alvolutionary,
Mm-hmm.
and what it is that I think white men, because they grew up in a white society, right? I think they're more open to kind of allow their significant other, their wife, their girlfriend, who happens to be Asian. But I notice this, they do this with their white female, boy, a girlfriend or
partner.
wife as well too. I don't want to say partner. I can't stand that word.
I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
refuse to
Wife,
say partner,
wife, girlfriend.
right? But just
Okay.
wife, significant other,
Okay.
girlfriend. But it's just a westernized thing in general, Al evolutionary, right? So I think what it is because now that all women are modern, and I've talked about this on multiple videos, right?
Yeah.
Not all women, including our Asian women, are modernized now
Yes.
too. They prefer a white man's kind of mentality now because now they can be outspoken. Whereas we all know stereotypically Asian men, we prefer and kind of want our wives to be more silent, to be more quiet, right?
Walk behind you a little
Yeah.
bit, not be, because they always want to feel like, hey, I am your leader, sort of thing. Like, I want to lead the family. I want to protect the family. That is why. Because when we ask, like, like for us, we asked my dad, like, why is it that men like to be in front? Well, he says, well, we're in the front line. If something were to happen to you, I'm the one to be in the front line to protect you, get hurt, get the bullets for you.
Let me kind of I guess give everyone a little bit more practicality, like a more pragmatic outlook on this. That might have worked back in the day to be that super traditional, right? Where you just have the woman stay at home and do her feminine duties, right? And then the man go do his thing. And then in essence, the women are quiet and stay reserved because those were just their responsibilities.
Everybody had their roles.
But I'm not saying the roles have completely changed. I'm giving you guys a very here. So listen up very, very closely. The problem is now in this day and age, right? And to be successful in this day and age as well too, your wife needs to assist you in other duties. And here, I'll give you an example. My wife has to go to the school and talk to the kids. I don't got time to go do that. I'm busting my butt, bringing home the bacon, working all day. I don't got time to go talk to the freaking PTA. So if my wife doesn't have the skills to be able to talk, be outgoing, and be outspoken a little bit, while still being feminine, of course, but outgoing more than what we would consider traditional, how is she going to get that done? Right? She volunteers and is like the team mom for a lot of our kids' sports activities, right? How is she going to be the team mom if she's not that vocal, right?
Outgoing.
Now, at the end of the day, and this is not a diss on my wife, but when we go on public, they know who's the leader, right? They can see who's the leader, but my wife still has to have these
Our roles.
able to be able to perform these duties, right? And so I think what it is just that, there's this balance. And unfortunately, Al, you're 100% correct. The Western stigma is that they kind of suppress the men and then kind of let the woman do the talking and more. And guys, it's kind of a byproduct too of how men in general in Western society has been shamed, right? If a man is too vocal, they're gonna say, "Oh, you're misogynist. You're being a freaking mansplaining." So wouldn't it be better for his wife? And in this particular case, a person of color, right? Now she can be vocal for him and say the things that they need to say in public, right? So those are kind of my reasons.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Let's go.
X Freeman.
You want to read this one, honey?
Okay.
Go ahead.
At X Freeman 86 is a month ago.
Yep.
White guy here. Did these Asian guys you're talking to who don't bring other things to the table besides their money? Did their fathers have any of those qualities? Were their fathers rich, tall, jacked, well-dressed charmers with laundry list of desirable qualities? Or were they broke, average-looking men who never stepped foot in the gym and wore cheap clothes because they were poor? Who still managed to the land a pretty traditional woman because they were hardworking, loyal, dedicated to their family, and willing to sacrifice? Give them better life. What changed?
So he's saying, hey, we talk all the time, honey, about that we have to become higher value men, right? Women want these different values. So he's giving an example. Hey, back in the day, right? Our dads, they weren't the 6 foot tall, 6 inch, 6 pack, right? High earners. why did our mothers, why did our grandmothers, right, submit or play their role to this man? What changed? What happened? You want to answer that question? Because I think this is a great question, X Freeman 86, because this isn't just an Asian thing. This is a man and female thing. And this is a question that everybody who comes into the RP channels, in essence, are looking for. Why are you guys thinking of, why are you guys saying what you're saying, right? Why is it different now versus then? And what do you say to that, honey?
Well, with my mom, why she picked my dad, because he was sort of up there in his game a little bit. Oh, with my mom, you know, he was up there a little bit in his game, and then plus he had to up it more because when he picked my mom, you know, he was surrounded with, you know, with the aunts and uncles and my mom's dad that were pretty successful.
Well, that's why your mom was with your dad. But
Yeah.
at X Freeman 86 is asking why. What has changed now versus back then, right? Because like your mom, your dad isn't tall. I remember your
know.
dad, right?
Yeah.
Your dad wasn't rich,
No.
right? He wasn't.
But then he had to up
He
it,
wasn't
you
this
know?
alpha man.
Yeah.
So what made your mom give him, 6 kids, right? Like what made them work together? She went to work too and took care of the kids at the
So
same
she
time.
played her roles. She was a wife, nurturing, caring to my dad, you know, while he upped his game and went to work hard and everything. Because a man had his role. My dad was very traditional, who provided.
Okay.
know?
The truth, X Freeman, the truth is that there were structures in place. There were matrices in place to give that outcome. And the problem is right now is the modern dating market, the modern game that we're all playing no longer have those safety nets in place.
Yep.
Right? I talk about it with Asian culture specifically, right? There was this culture that, hey, the man was the provider and the protector, but mostly the provider to an extent, right? Because you have to remember in the countries that we grew up in, there's this communism, socialism, right? You're just one of many, right? The government protected you. So there's really no protection that you had to do per se, short of within kind of your local realm, right?
Yeah.
But you mainly focus on provision. Hence why Asians focus so much on education and finance, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, like I said, there was this structure to shame women that, hey, if a man were providing those things, then he was a good enough man to provide your values to. You shouldn't want to look for the guy that has all the other chicks.
No wandering eyes.
Right. You shouldn't want the guy that has all these other values, even though you'd find it arousing. But, the structure was in place. Oh, that he's going to be a player. He's going to cheat on you. And probably rightfully so as well, too. Guys, back in the day, we had general guidelines to help assist in a good outcome, right? And so everyone kind of played within this matrix, right? Everyone played within this social structure. But like I said, X Freeman, all those social structures are gone. And now with a means at which to see the opposite or the alternative outcomes, quote unquote, social media, right? Internet. And now women exactly, and acceptance too with feminism, all these different ideologies. Now they're seeing, well, hey, I can have this potential outcome. So why should I choose the traditional man, right, when I am no longer a traditional woman?
And now
in
it's
that
in the palm
sense.
of your, and
Correct.
it's in the palm of your hands.
But I am a woman. So I'm trying to relate this to the RP guys, but I am a woman, right? I'm hypergamous by nature. I want the best man to give me the best outcome, right? For survival and for my children, right? And so that's why, X Freeman, because that's the truth. All the barriers, all the freaking constructs have been broken down. And so women have changed. If you want to ask what has changed, it's
women are more outspoken.
I take that back. It's not that
and more
men
acceptance.
and women have changed. It's that all those structures have broken down. And so now when you're no longer limited by those structures, your natural ability comes out. And this is also the other problem. Because of all those structures, we forgot what the truth really was. We forgot what the reality to give us the best outcome for the truth was.
Yeah.
And so we started believing lies like, well, everyone's the same. Men and women are the same. Body count doesn't matter, right? Earning, the man doesn't have to bring the money. I can be a high earner too, and we can do this 50-50 partnership bull crap. And so the truth has been masked so much, and then now all these structures are broken down.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, you see the outcome of it.
Well, yeah, and society doesn't really, they're accepting it. They're not shaming on certain things. Like, hey, if you sleep around, you do this, woman, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. You know, there's no shaming. Everything's, hey, it's okay. And then there, you know, that is why.
There was
That's
structures. There was structures in place to prevent, to showcase that truth, to help that truth, because that is the truth.
Yeah.
Women are not going to be respected if they're 304s, but there was a structure in place. Now
Not anymore.
the structure is actually opposite, right? Now they're telling you what was up is down and what is down is up. Now they're saying body count is the same for both men and women.
No.
And so now you see it. So that's what's changed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next
Thank
comment.
you.
Okay. At 9 Diamond asks, I don't think that Asian Western men still adhere to the traditional values anymore. The majority grew up in a Western country and internalized Western values. The bigger reason is because Western people are kind of fetishized in Asia, like there's something special. It's because of the big influence of Hollywood. When asking Asian women what they think about white men, the first thing that comes to their mind is Brad Pitt and the likes. Another factor is also the mentality. Asian society just works different, and Western men seem more confident and more alpha than Asian men, who in contrast can seem timid and insecure. So they don't have that riz. That's just my observation coming from a Western Asian. Okay, honey, what do you think? I mean, a good observation, a good comment. I disagree a little bit, but I'll have my statement. What do you think, honey?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, in Asia, yes, they do idolize the tall, sort of, you know, lighter skinned, tall, handsome men.
But when we
doesn't
talk,
mean like.
but when we talk about tall, do you really think that's just an Asia thing?
No, I think that's
why.
a lot of traits. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's just a woman thing.
It's 9 and a dime. I mean, like, think about it. Most women would like, doesn't matter. It's a man's trait that they want a little bit of tall. They want some money to, you know, help them, you know. And if they're, you know, wanting to say marry the person, they, you know, they want to continue their lineage with that good traits for their kids to pass down to. So that's not something just for Western.
Yeah, you're talking about why Asian women are more interested in those values.
Yeah.
He's saying that the Asian men aren't really adhering to the traditional values anymore. And he's saying that because of how Hollywood and all these quote unquote media portrays Asian men, right? That's kind of why the outcome is the way they are, right? So
some truth in it.
Yeah.
I mean, in between.
I disagree, and this is why, because I hear so many of my Asian brothers. I see so many of my Asian brothers in person, on social media, on some of these channels, right? Continue to spew this traditional value.
Yeah.
Right? Be a good educated person. Be a nice guy. Right? Be that person that your mom and dad told you to be, right? Just be yourself, right? Make money, have a good job, have a good career, and someone's going to like you. Right? And we need to stop that bull crap.
No.
We need to stop that advice. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not telling my son that.
Nope.
I'm telling my son to be 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds, jacked, sports athlete, freaking intelligent, whatever it takes to not only be the best man possible, but to have all the options possible.
Yep.
Right? That's the only way you're gonna get the results, right? And what I'm trying to tell you is, this comment is where I disagree, is that because I still think a lot of Western Asian men still want to adhere to this false mindset of that, just be the nice guy, right? I think, you know, I want to bring, I hate to kind of like compare the polar opposites of black men versus Asian men, but because black men always kind of fought against this Western ideology, right? Like, I don't want to be the white guy.
Yeah.
They kind of did their own thing and said, hey, I'm going to be, hey,
Athletic,
you know, you think I'm this? Okay, then I'm going to be this. I'm going to be even more loud. I'm going to be even more obnoxious. I'm going to even be more standout. I'm going to even be more freaking like hyper masculine, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to even talk about my junk even more. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to treat women freaking bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm this way? I'm going to be that way then, right? And so in a way, it kind of helped them out
Yep.
to be more arousing to women, right? And Asian men, you need to learn that what is the nice thing to say versus what is the reality, what women find attractive are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing I disagree with. The second thing I would disagree with is that I don't think Hollywood plays as much of a part in making our image as most Asian men think, right? Why is it then that K-pop stars are so popular with women?
Right now.
Right?
Yep.
They're taller, they're good looking, they dress nice. They're way too effeminate for my personal opinion, but when you're tall, you're handsome, you have these traits,
Dancing.
women are going to like you,
Yep.
right? And even though, let's be honest, they're a little bit more emotionally unstable than I think a man should be, right? They're outgoing,
Yep.
right? They sing, they dance, they talk to girls, they have riz, right? And so I think we have a huge influence on how our image can be,
Yep.
right? We just need to step up to the plate, maybe not go the same direction that the black guys did, right? But confidence doesn't have to be that,
Yeah.
right? You can be confident in being Asian and being successful in who we are,
Without being a jerk.
right? And without
So,
being an asshole, without being a jerk,
Yep.
right? Okay. All right. Great comment though. Thanks, Nine Diamond.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Why don't you take turns, honey? Why don't you read this one?
Okay. Admin Cookies 89 2 weeks ago. I hear everything you're saying, but you are leaving out a lot. Japanese women are not interested in marriage and children like that. Life is hard, expensive in Japan. A lot are adopting the let it rot aesthetic, not for fun, but just to breathe. And another thing is, women are opting out of dating, romance, scene, and men can't deal with that. Okay, well, what
Okay.
do you think of that? There you go.
Okay, you want to let me
Yeah,
hear
go
it
ahead.
first?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think Japanese women are not interested in marriage and children.
No.
I think they've been indoctrinated just like all women in society now that they don't need no man,
To date.
right? That they can freaking be they. And then this is the other thing too, guys. I'm not blaming women for this, right? Women are women. They want the best man available. And let's be honest, we talk about this all the time. The pool of Asian men that are top tier men are not that high. And I really think Japan, I keep coming back to this, but I think really Japan is a good look at what our future can be
come.
if we don't right the ship. If we have this society where we keep shaming men's values, saying men are bad, misogynist, toxic, right? And men's preferences are shamed and considered toxic and everything like that. We're going to continue to have this because you're going to have a society of men who aren't freaking arousal to women.
Yep.
And so Japanese women are looking at their men. They're like, screw this. I don't want this. And I want a thing. And then this is the flip side. The problem is most women as well. And I get even my wife, every other woman that hears me says this out this will kind of cringe a little bit.
What is it?
Women don't want to accept the fact that top tier men will have multiple women. Right? And that's just the freaking truth. Right? If you're a high top tier guy, and that's what all women now want nowadays because our society has told them that's what they deserve. Everyone's a queen, everyone's a princess, you're a bad bitch, you're a 10, you deserve the top tier dude. Well, you know what? Those top tier dudes are gonna have multiple women. And then if you're taught that no, I want him to be loyal to you only. You see the dilemma here, guys, right?
Yep.
You want this top tier man, but you want him all to yourself, and you know that that's not the reality. And then, but anything less is not good enough for you.
Yeah.
And so this is the dilemma. You're like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
Take Tom Brady right now.
exactly,
And Giselle.
right? Right.
Okay,
And so
Tom Brady's his top
so
tier, but she
life-
still thinks she can get better.
life is hard and expensive in Japan, but let's be honest, guys,
she's
life
not.
is hard and expensive everywhere, right? And I don't think men, this last statement where it says women are opting out of dating and
dating, no.
romance. No, guys.
You guys are getting more selfish.
Ladies,
Yeah.
who gives out the relationships?
Most women say yes.
No, men are the one that give
No,
relationships.
but I'm saying like you're the one who's saying yes or no most of the time to certain things. If for
No, my
pregnancy.
point is, you guys give out the sex. You guys give out your values, right?
Yes.
Sex, promiscuity, your fidelity, the chance to have children,
Yeah.
right? Your femininity, your beauty. Those are the values to give to us.
Yep.
But we give you the commitment of
Yeah.
our values, and that's what you're looking for. So it's not that men can't deal with it.
That's cap.
Right? It's
There
just
you
that
go,
you
for-
guys want this top tier man
Yeah.
and you guys aren't happy, right? It's FOMO, right? The fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want the top tier man and you guys won't accept anything less. And it sucks. A lot of Asian
Now
men,
you're left out.
but a lot of men in general aren't top tier men.
Yep.
Right? And so I find it really like, it's hilarious because you just have to sit here and laugh because unfortunately, you're 100% right at Mean Cookie 89. Unfortunately, Asian women are considered the higher value women. We talked about this, right? And other thing. Asian women are the most swiped, right?
Yeah.
You look at all the ethnicities, they're trying to hit up on Asian women,
Yep.
right? But the problem with Asian women, when you're this top tier value, the higher value,
then
and you also believe that you're this bad bitch, you're
Yep.
10 and you're the queen and everything like that. So you want the top of the top,
But
right?
think about it. If you've been working, you're like, oh, hey, I can go, make my own, get my own bacon, right? Well,
Yeah.
now you've just wasted 20, in your 20s. Now you're in your 30s.
But not only that,
it's flying
but
by.
not only that, but your expectations
Yeah.
are higher. If
I-
you
that's what
make,
I'm saying.
if you make more money,
now you're
now
going
you
up
want
and
a
up.
guy that makes even way more
But now
money.
think about it. The guy that is the creme of the creme, that's way top. Now don't want you because you're freaking
Well,
old now. You're old.
Let's say you're not old though. He wants you, but you don't understand. He also wants other women
That's
as
what I'm
well
trying to
too.
say. Well, I'm just saying. Well, there you go. So
Yeah,
okay,
so.
next.
A great comment,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, that's a little bit to me just kind of like an out,
Yeah.
right? Like, I hear what you're saying. I kind of see why you think that way, but the reality is it's not that way.
No.
Right? So,
Thank
anyways,
you.
yeah.
2 days ago, huh?
Underscore Untel. Yeah, Untel. Here's a theory I notice about women in general, and I'd like to know your thoughts about it. The theory is that females are childlike. I've found many, many reasonings for this, and if you want to entertain it, I'd gladly provide said reasonings. Okay, what do you think about it, honey? He's saying that that women are like children. What do you think about that?
Well, we do have certain mood swings. Yes. Is that what you mean? Like
that could be one
sometimes-
of it. That's one of it.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, hey, if, like we're having a bad day, we want your attention. We're like, oh, I want to tell you this, certain things, or, share our emotions on certain sides, you know what I mean? Or we'll have our happy days, that, we did something good and we're like, hey, can you give me a treat, give me a pat in the back? And if you don't show her somewhat of a little bit of attention, she gets irritated, like a child throwing a tantrum. So I could see that part, Yes.
Guys.
Maybe?
Yes, a little bit of that. That has something to do with that. That has to do with more of like the the reasons that they do, or some of the situation. Guys, it always comes back down to the truth. And the reason why women are considered children is because they've never had accountability or responsibility, and they never should have it. Right? I hate to say it, but they never. One, we talk about this all the time, right? Fitness. Men have the physical capability to kill, to conquer. Right? An army of men can take over a country, not an army. I'll be honest with you guys. If someone told me today, like, oh, you have a freaking a group of women coming after you, I'd laugh at them. I'd be like, so? Right? Like, okay, when are they coming so I can fight them? Like, I'm not scared. Like, even if they had guns, I'd still be like, okay, I have my guns. I'll fight them too. Like, but if you telling me like 2 dudes are after me, or even 1 big dude is after me, I'm be like, okay, shit, I better get myself ready. I better go freaking to the gym. I better start training, right? Like, it's just a reality, right? So when it comes to the fitness level, right, we're the capable of that violence. And because we're capable of that violence and of turning, changing, and shaping the world with that violence, we have the responsibility. We have the accountability. And so since women, and this, I think they really know this to a T, as much as feminism lies to them and, social media lies to them, they understand that ultimately at the end of the day, if the shit hits the fan, who's really responsible? Who's really accountable? Us.
Yep.
We're the ones that are going to have to go fight and die,
Yeah.
right? So they're like, hey, screw it, like when that time comes, I can leave with the children, right? Women and children on the boat first, right?
Yep. And it's always been that way.
So that's one, right? And then because of the fact that when it comes to the truth, that's what I would say. It comes always back to the truth. When it comes to the dating mating strategy, who pursues who? The man pursues the woman. And it's the man that has to become higher value or build his value to pursue the woman.
Yep.
Women are born with value. So unless you really screw up and don't preserve your value, right?
Yep.
Eat a bunch of freaking chocolate cake as a kid and now you're a fat girl or a fat lady, right? But shoot, even then, there's going to be
There's still
some
somebody.
dudes. There's still going to be some dudes that's going to want to mate with you, right? But the point is because of the sexual mating strategy that you really don't have to do much as a woman to achieve that outcome.
That's true.
You can kind of live through life without responsibility and accountability, which is like children, right?
Yep.
So those to me are the two big reasons
We like to be cared for all
on
the time.
women are like children and why women should be treated like children to an extent.
Well, we
right?
like to be cared for. Is what they're saying. Cared
And
for,
we need to go
nurtured.
back to that. I hate to say it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that women shouldn't have any, like, obviously rights or anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm
We're not saying go
that.
way back,
right?
but at least have some.
But
sort
let's
of
be honest.
roles.
Let's call it what it is. Like, they're not fighting our battles. They're not
Yeah.
fighting our wars. So why should they have the right to tell me what to do when that time comes, right? Like, if I want to fight somebody, it better be interest for our country, for the general society as a whole, not because women wanted it. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like I said, I hate, my wife will her stomach will turn by me saying this, right? But a woman can't tell a man what to do if he becomes a certain high value man and he wants to do what he wants to do. He wants to have multiple wives. He wants to have freaking polygamous relationship. He's earned that value to do it. Now, I always say that with a certain connotation, which is, can he provide the best outcome for those situations? And the truth of the matter is most guys cannot. I would say 99.99% of men can't do that. Shoot, I'll give you guys my own example. I have nowhere near the means to support 2 families, let alone 3 families, right? Multiple houses, multiple kids, nor do I have the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nor do I have the time or I want the time to go do that. Think about how many kids' games I would have to attend.
Yeah.
How many freaking, lectures I would have had with my sons or my daughters. Like, it's like, so it's the capability, right? I get it. You want to do it. Shit, I want to have sex with as many women as possible. But the fact that if I have kids with these women and if I want the best outcome for these kids,
And there's only a certain amount of time, guys.
yeah, time and money, resources, whatever, and let's be honest, it's also peace of mind, right? Like, man, it's a headache dealing with all this stuff too. It's a chore, it's a work dealing with all this stuff.
drama.
So if you ladies, if you really want the reason why a high value man or a higher value or top tier man wouldn't cheat, it's because of these reasons.
They don't want the headache.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of headache, so unless you're just for a man, if you're not disciplined with your dick, like we always talk about,
discipline.
and you're willing just to go have a bunch of baby mamas, and you don't really care about the outcomes of these kids, right? You just give them money, you just give them alimony, and that's
And
all.
look how that
and look at how
turned
these
out.
kids turn out, right?
Half of the people who are wealthy, go Google them. They're all messed up in some
guys,
ways.
we don't even need to talk about the wealthy guys. We are talking about this day and age where, right, single mother households are leading to
Single parent,
single mother households specifically, though, right?
Yep.
So I'm just saying that specifically because if you're a man that's just going out there and just getting all these women pregnant and you're just the baby daddy and all you're doing is just, giving them money, obviously it's not leading to a better just society, right? It's not leading to a better freaking, general society as a whole, right?
Yep.
Lisa Chan responds, says, I've seen this theory as well. It goes along with that women like to be babied by their partners who are their providers. I think it also complements the saying women marry their fathers and men marry their mothers, as mothers provide that provider security and mothers offer that nurturing love and peace. I'll finish it off, okay, honey? Untel responds, I can tell you the full details if you like. My socials is in my bio. Azure8696 says, I don't think it's a theory as much as it's just a simple fact of life. I just broke it down for you, Azure8696. I 100% agree with you. It's just the simple fact of the truth, right? And then Until responds, it is a simple fact of life, but if I openly say it like that, people will not take it that way. I want them to, so I must say theory. So once again, you're trying to deliver the message in a nice way so that way people won't take offense to it.
But we're on our channel is the truth.
Yeah,
So
we don't sugarcoat things here, but how about, what do you think about Lisa Chan's statement, honey? That it kind of goes along with
father?
women marry their fathers and marry their father, mothers. What do you think about that?
Well, if they come from a happy parenting, then yes, most women try to find sort of like a partner with their father figure, the loving, the nurturing, the caring part, the protecting, right? And then for the other one, they want that nurturing of the mother, like they're in their wives.
Yeah.
If they come from, like I said, a healthy.
I think the problem is, all these really good social constructs that was developed through the years by our forefathers, generations that came before us.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, as always, the teachings is lost through time, right?
Yeah.
The teachings is lost through pretty much the handing down of this information, right? It's like that game of a phone, right? Where you tell somebody something on the phone, and they're supposed to go tell somebody else, and so by the time it gets to the very end, they're like, the message is no longer there.
Yeah.
And so I think what happened was that we took this guidance a little too literal. We want to marry someone like our fathers.
Yeah.
No, not exactly
Not
like
like
our
that.
fathers, right?
We're talking about the traits.
But we're
and
talking
their
about the
little
traits. See,
and values.
exactly. That's what
And
I'm
that's
saying.
what we're trying to tell you.
And that's
is
what I'm saying. The
traits.
truth was always protected by these social constructs. They say, hey, to get the best outcome of the truth, these are the general guidelines that we suggest you to do, right? Our forefathers tell you to do this step, right? Find a non-promiscuous woman, right? Don't marry a 3 or 4, right?
Those kind of things.
Have provision, have protection, right? Be physically capable, right?
That's what I'm saying. The happy.
Find a woman that can cook because she can be nurturing and feminine,
caring,
right? So it's all these guidelines to help give the truth the best outcome.
True.
And so when they say these things like men want to marry their mothers and women want to marry their fathers, it's the traits, right? So if your dad was a good dad,
Yeah,
think about it, right? If you
parent.
came from a good household, this related. This made sense, right? Because your father was a good protector. He was a good provider. He took care of you, your mom and you and the rest of your siblings, right? And then if your mom was a good mom, right? Because obviously if any of this stuff was bad, we would have bad outcomes, right? The parents probably would have divorced or you would have grown broke, or you would have grown like maybe not having everything that you need to have a successful upbringing. You don't have to be rich, right? But you had at least all the things in place to have a good upbringing, right? And so it's the traits. Okay. All right. My wife is going to the restroom. She'll be back. But all right, let's continue. At Love's Sweet Dreams stated, so it ain't white women no more? Now Asian women are the new status symbol? I want one though, not gonna lie. And then at Future DC 1640 stated, facts. So, guys, it's not that. I mean, at Love Sweet Dreams, maybe you can comment again. But are you talking about Asian men wanting white women, or is it just all men wanting white women? And now Asian women are the new status symbol.
Comment in regards to the video you guys did about Asian women love sleeping with black guys.
Okay, so this was a reaction comment to the video where we shot about Asian women loved sleeping with black guys. And so, okay, so they're talking about black guys wanting white women, and now they want Asian women as well. Yes and no to an extent. They're, hey, my black brothers, this is what I've heard. This is kind of what I've seen, but you can comment and obviously let us know. But I think a little bit of it was kind of like you knew you conquered America, right? You knew you kind of got back at the white man by being able to take his white woman, right? It was, and guys, we do this all the time, right? It was like, hey, I'm the better guy, right? I got your girl. I got your car. I became successful, more successful than you were. Right. And so it was kind of a get back on that. So I'm sure it's a little bit of that, right, when it came to the black dudes wanting white women. But when it comes to Asian women, this is not just a one ethnicity thing, right? If you look at dating apps, once again, all ethnicity of men are preferring Asian women. And what it comes down to is because, like I said, in general, Asian women exhibit all the values that makes a woman higher value, right? Their weight, right? Asian women are typically the least weight of all the different ethnicities, right? Femininity, They tend to be a little bit more softer spoken, right? A little bit more carrying themselves in a less masculine, less promiscuous way, even though they're modern women now, guys, and they're just women as well. They're hypergamous as well, too. But they convey themselves, they portray themselves as being more feminine and less promiscuous, right? And then, of course, they tend to have the physical features of being cute and very innocent looking. And that's something that when men find very attractive, right? We like young, innocent, right? Submissive, fertile looking women. And Asian women in general have those traits. And that's why that they're the most desired, right? And so, yeah, it's just our biology, guys. You know, if black women were the women that exhibited those traits, we would all want black women, right? But unfortunately, because they're the most overweight, they're the most masculine, they're the least desired on dating apps. So once again, it's not an ethnicity thing. It's just a trait thing, okay? All right, next one. Azure8696 says, black women seem to hate black men these days based off of what I see on social media. I have no idea how much of that actually translates into real life scenarios. Okay. So yeah, so once again, social media, the media, Hollywood does have a lot to influence all of us guys when it comes to these different situations like this. But in general, actually, most black men are married to black women, right? So it's not that obviously before the whole Jim Crow laws, black families were way more prevalent than they are now, right? But that's true of white families as well, too. There's a lot more single family white families now, single family households now, single mom, single dad households in the white community although not as much as black communities, right? But my point is that in general, a majority of black men are actually married to black women. What they're talking about and why it relates so much to your comment is that they only show the top tier black men in these situations, right? So they're showing the celebrities, the athletes, right? The singers, the actors. And men are men, women are women, right? When your values are high and you have all the options like these top percentage of black men do, they're going to choose the highest value women, right? And also multiples of them, right? And so the problem is black women hate that the top tier men choose other ethnicities. Yep. And guys, it's just a numbers game, right? We just talk about how black women in general are the most overweight and the most masculine, the least desired on dating apps. So if there's less of the high value black women out there, right? If there's less of a number, and then there's more high value black men, even though that percentage is small, and they have all the options, just as any high value man would be, who do you think they're choosing?
They're going to choose.
They might, deep down in their heart, they might be like, oh, I want to choose that high value black woman to be my queen, to be my ebony queen. But she's not there. They're not there.
Yep.
And if I do find one, she's freaking masculine. She's loud. She wants to boss me around, right?
Yep.
Right? Why would I deal with that when I can date another ethnicity?
Be more,
and she's more
drama.
feminine.
Yeah.
She's quiet. She follows my lead.
Yep.
Right? She doesn't bring me a headache when I come home. Right? I travel, and then, hey, this is the other thing too.
And women, it's the traits.
This
It's
is
the
the other
traits,
thing
the
too. I
attitude.
hate to say it, but my
The
black
attitude.
sisters, go tell me or comment, right?
Down
Maybe
there.
maybe black sisters are less willing to deal with a man that cheats. Maybe could that be a huge part of it too? Right? I'm a queen, right? I don't need no man, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna stand my man cheating with me on another woman. Well, like I tell you guys, these high-end celebrities, regardless of race, has options.
Yep.
Right. And so if these black men, and also their desire now, these black men are propagated just, because we're talking about social media and Hollywood, right? Black men are hugely promoted in social media as being the it guy right now, the alpha male right now, right? Right. How many of these women on these dating apps, dating shows that you see when we watch, when they see what's your ethnicity preference, it's usually always black dudes or white guys.
Yep.
Right. And so if black men are highly desired and black women are lowly desired,
Then
You
that
know,
just tells
it's
you.
like they're gonna choose other ethnicities.
Yep.
So black women, I'm sorry, I find it funny because black women have the same complaints that Asian men have.
Yeah.
Right? We complain that our Asian sisters go
And
marry
what,
us.
and what did we say? Up your traits. Change certain
Have
things.
the values, right?
Yeah.
You can't sit here and be like, well, you know, this is
Complain.
the pool that they have to choose from. But this pool, like, hey guys, just think about it. If we'll talk about cars, right? If you can go to one car dealer, get a cheaper car
Yep.
that's in better shape, lower mileage, gives you better, like it's faster, better looking, right? And they want you as well too.
Yeah. Take your point.
Are you gonna choose that one, or are you gonna go choose
higher
a car that's got higher mileage, got cosmetic defects, broken engine, whatever, right?
More-
whatever
more
stats you want to say, right?
more
You're gonna
to-
choose the better deal every
Yeah.
single time. So how are you gonna hate any ethnicity, right? To choose the better value.
Yep.
It's always that way. It always comes down to the values.
That's true.
Right. So yeah. All right. Next one. Oh, this was the last comment.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey
Nice.
guys,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for joining us. Right. If there's any last minute comments, please shoot them in.
Yep.
Oh, there's one last
There's
comment.
one
Very
coming.
nice. All right.
There's
What do we
another
got?
comment coming in. Huh?
So it's hashtag WMAF,
Mm-hmm.
which is white male, Asian female.
White male.
Okay.
Oh, nice. All right. Nice.
And then the next comment is, think the Asian male self-delusion is a part of why there's a shortage in males in China.
Shortage of
in
males
male?
in China.
Not from what
I
we
haven't.
heard
I haven't
referenced.
heard that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. I know. there was a shortage of kids in general when they had that one child
Child
policy,
policy, but
but
not
then
now.
they switched it to a two-child policy,
now 3.
and then they eventually switched it to a three-child policy. I think the shortage that you're referring to is because that there was so many women brought in, and then because there was so many quote unquote leftover women.
Yeah. that
The
we saw.
shortage of men for all these women, and this is the point once again. This really relates to
Let's
this
do it, the truth.
conversation, right? It's there's a shortage of high value men. There's always
shortage of men,
there's not
no.
a shortage of men. There's a shortage of high value men, right?
Earner
Correct.
men.
Well, top tier
with higher
earning,
tier
good
traits.
looks,
Yep.
high, and that's always going to be the case. And so that's the truth. And if you guys, and for my Asian brothers, if you guys don't wake up and see that, right? There's a shortage of top tier Asian men in society as a whole. Our problem is this last comment is 100% correct.
Yep.
When it comes to the Asian ethnicities, that shortage is even smaller, right? Because women nowadays don't look at just one value as being a top tier man,
They're looking
right?
at
They're looking at the
multiples.
complete values. And when I said before, when the social constructs have been broken down and no longer is it shame that they date outside of their race, they can date white, they can date black, they can date Hispanic, whoever it is, as long as they have the best values. And guys, women know these values biologically inherent. You don't have to tell them that a tall, handsome, strong-looking man is attracted to them, or a man that looks like that and then rolls up dressed nice, rolling a freaking Lamborghini
doesn't
isn't
matter.
a capable suitor, right? Like, you know, they're gonna get wet on the spot, right? Their
They love
body is gonna get aroused by just natural, you know, noticing that, right? And so, yes, this comment is a little bit true, but it's not
Not
true
true.
in the sense of numbers.
Yeah.
It's just true in the sense of values, right?
And-
There's not
yeah.
enough high qualified Asian men.
Yep. And that's
Okay.
basically it.
So, guys, hey, thank you so much for joining us. If there's any last comments, definitely shoot it in. Or, hey, guys, obviously add some more comments,
Comments in.
and we'll do another live. As we told you guys, we're going to do, I know this one was late, but we're going to do more lives in the first Sunday of every month moving forward.
Yeah.
To hopefully answer and react to
Make
all your
react
guys' questions and comments from the previous month.
Yeah.
Okay, but hey, everyone that submitted comments during the live, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Really appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
See ya.
Talk to you.